Hi dear students, this is the 10th part of the 5th module of the subject EST 100 Engineering Mechanics. In this presentation we will be discussing about the simple harmonic motion. Okay, simple harmonic motion is a periodic motion. Any motion which repeats after equal interval of time is called the periodic motion. So simple harmonic motion actually is a subcase of the periodic motion. Any motion which repeats after equal interval of time is called a periodic motion. You can see for example you might have seen the motion of the pendulum in the clock. So what happens is after equal interval each interval of time it is passing through a particular point. So a very equal interval of time it is repeating. So that type of motions are called periodic motion. So but all the periodic motions are not simple harmonic motion. So for a periodic motion to be simple harmonic, some conditions are to be satisfied, and the conditions are: first one is acceleration of the body of the particle performing periodic motion should be proportional to the distance of the body or particle from the fixed point called the center of simple harmonic motion, or simply it is called mean position of body or particle. So the acceleration of the body which is having that periodic motion should be proportional to the distance of the body from the fixed point or mean position. So acceleration is directly proportional to the distance from the mean position. That is what is the meaning of that sentence. So for a periodic motion to be simple harmonic, first condition to be satisfied is acceleration of that particle should be proportional to the distance from the mean position of the motion. And the second one is the acceleration of the body of the particle should always be directed towards the mean position. So the direction of the acceleration should be always towards the mean position. So if these two conditions are satisfied, then only we can say that a periodic motion is simple harmonic motion. Anyway, while during the derivation these 2 points will be clear for you. Now consider a particle moving around the circumference of a circle with a constant angular velocity omega. See, this P is the particle. Actually particle is moving along the circumference of a circle with constant angular velocity omega. So omega is the angular velocity of the particle. Now after a time period of t second, the particle has moved from position A to new position here. That is what is shown by the point P, and you can see a perpendicular is dropped to the horizontal diameter, and that projection of that point P on the x-axis is marked as P dash. I am taking this center of the circle as the mean position. So actually here simple harmonic motion means the movement of the point P dash along this horizontal axis I am taking as the example for simple harmonic motion. See, I am not considering actually the movement of P is not simple harmonic motion. Actually the simple harmonic motion is the movement of the projection of this point P on the diameter. So actually the movement of P dash is what is known as the simple harmonic motion, and the mean position about which P dash moving is the center of the circle, that is the point O. So the extreme positions of this point movement of the point are A and A dash. So this is mean position, and A and A dash usually called as extreme positions. Okay, now consider a particle moving along the circumference of the circle with a constant angular velocity omega. I have already told. Now after a time interval of t second, the particle has moved to a position P, and corresponding projection is P dash, and the P dash is now a particular distance x meter or x distance from the mean position O. That is also shown here. Now during this movement, the particle has traversed an angular displacement of theta radian. That is also shown here, and I have taken the radius of the circle as r, small r. That also you can see here. Okay, now when t is measured from the extreme position, we are deriving the equations for the two cases. First one is when t is measured from the extreme position, and the second one is when t is measured from the mean position. Okay, now first one is when the t is measured from the extreme position. Extreme position means if I am considering the motion of this point P dash along the x-axis, then extreme positions are point A and A dash. See, when the point P is at A, the P dash will coincide with P, so P dash also will be at A. That is what is the meaning of when T is measured from the extreme position. So time period t starts from the extreme position A. So at that time p dash is also at the extreme position. So actual meaning of time t measured from the extreme position is actually when start at the starting point p dash is at the extreme position A. That is the meaning. The other case is when the second case I have told is that also we have to derive is when t measured from the mean position. In that case, what is happening is we are analyzing the motion of this p dash along the y-axis. You can see the motion is along the y-axis, vertical axis. See at that case, if p is at extreme position A, then what happens is p dash will be actually at the mean position. In the earlier case, when point P was at A, P dash also was at A. That means P dash was at extreme position. But if you are considering the motion along the vertical axis, then what happens is when P was at extreme position A, at that time P dash is actually not with A. Here the P dash will be at the mean position O. So two types will be there. One is when the T is measured from the extreme position. At that case, the p dash will be in the extreme position. Second one is when t measured from the mean position. In that case, the p dash, the projection of the point P which is moving along the circumference, will be at the mean position O. That is the difference between these two cases. Now we will move on to the first case when t is measured from the extreme position. Let p be the position of the particle after time t. Theta corresponding angle swept out during this time interval t, that I have already told. Now from the fundamental, we know that angular displacement theta equal to angular displacement into time period, theta equal to omega t. This equation already we know. So theta equal to omega into t, where omega is the angular velocity, t is the time period, and theta is the angular displacement in radian. Okay. Now p dash be the projection of the particle on x-axis. Actually x-axis means nothing but the horizontal diameter. At t is equal to 0, p dash is at extreme position. I have already told when t is equal to 0, the point P was at position A. Point P will be at position A. At that time, P dash also will be at A. That means P dash will be at the extreme position. So actually, this meaning extreme position means P dash is at extreme position. That is the easiest way to remember. This term will be a little bit confusing when t is measured from extreme position. Instead, you remember when P dash is at extreme position, P dash is starting from extreme position, then the equation corresponding to this one is to be used. When p dash starts from the mean position, center of the circle, then at that time you have to use the next equation that we will derive later. Okay. Now displacement x of the point point p dash at any time t from the mean position O is given by, you can see this is the displacement x. So actually x in terms of radius is, you know this angle theta. Once you know the angle theta, then it is better to take, you want to find this value x, so cos theta. So cos is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse, cos theta equal to x by r. So x is equal to r cos theta. So actually x is equal to point p dash at any time t from the mean position O is given by x is equal to OP dash. OP dash means this one, O to p dash, that is x. X is equal to OP dash, that is equal to r cos theta. Cos theta equal to x by r. So x is equal to r cos theta. We know that theta equal to omega t. So this can be written as r cos omega t. So displacement x, equation for the displacement of the simple harmonic motion from the mean position, x is equal to r cos omega t. This is the displacement from the mean position. X equal to displacement from the mean position, x equal to r cos theta, that is equal to r cos omega t. Now we know that the equation for the velocity is rate of change of displacement with respect to time. So dx by dt, actually dx is r cos omega t. So dx by dt, differentiating this term, we will get r cos omega t in differential of cos omega, r is constant, differential of cos omega t is minus sin omega t. So since the term to be differentiated is having a t term, so into omega will be coming, differentiating omega t, we will get omega. So finally dx by dt is equal to minus r omega sin omega t, that is equal to minus r omega sin theta. Omega t is nothing but theta, so sin theta. Now this is equal to, this equation can be written as minus r omega. Instead of sin theta, I am substituting from the earlier figure. You can see sin theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. Opposite it is p by p dash, divided by hypotenuse is r. So I am writing instead of sine theta p dash by r. So this equation becomes minus r omega p dash by r. Actually that's equal to r and r will get cancelled. So minus omega into p dash. You can see from this figure, this is a right triangle. So p dash is equal to this distance square minus this distance, hypotenuse square minus this distance square. So p dash square, r square equal to p dash square plus x square. That is the Pythagoras theorem. So from that you will get p dash square equal to r square minus x square. So p dash equal to root of r square minus x square. So minus r omega p dash by r and r will get cancelled. So finally it becomes minus omega into instead of p dash I am writing root of r square minus x square. This is the equation for the velocity, minus omega root of r square minus x square. See, this equation depends only on omega radius of the circle and as well as the displacement from the mean position. Okay. Now next one is acceleration. To find the acceleration we will be differentiating the displacement with 2 times with respect to time. So d square x by dt square, already dx by dt is minus r omega sine theta. So differentiating again becomes minus dx by dt is minus r omega sine omega t. So this term is constant minus r omega. Differentiating sine omega t, again you will get cos omega t into omega. So this entire term becomes minus r omega square cos omega t. So this is the equation for the acceleration. This equation we will not use usually, just like this equation. This equation also we will not be using continuously. Instead, for the velocity, to find out the velocity, we will be using this equation written in this red color, that is minus omega root of r square minus x square. Similarly, here also we have to convert this equation in terms of x and r. For that, what we will do is instead of cos theta, I will substitute from the figure cos theta. You can see from this figure cos theta equal to x by r. Adjacent by hypotenuse is the cos theta. So I will be directly substituting x by r here. So minus r omega square into x by r. So r and r will cancel. So finally minus omega square into x. See, the equation for the acceleration is minus omega square into x. Equation for the velocity is minus omega into root of r square minus x square. So for a periodic motion to be simple harmonic motion, we have to satisfy these two conditions. First one is acceleration of the particle should be directly proportional to the displacement. See here, the in the equation of acceleration it is minus omega square into x. X is nothing but the distance from the mean position. So first condition is satisfied, acceleration is directly proportional to the distance from the mean position, and you can see the acceleration term is having a minus term, minus omega square x. That means the acceleration is always directed towards the center. Since that minus term is there, the second condition is also satisfied. So since these two conditions are simultaneously satisfied, that's why this periodic motion is considered as a simple harmonic motion. Now next one is I will show the variation of the velocity, displacement, velocity, everything with respect to time or with respect to theta. So here the first one is displacement. First one here it is. This is the variation of the displacement. I think first graph shows the variation of the displacement. You can see from this figure, initially when the p dash is at p is at point A, p dash also was here, that is x, the value of the displacement is equal to the radius of this circle. So when theta equal to 0 degree, the displacement x was equal to the radius of the circle. So the maximum displacement is radius r. So at theta equal to 0, here t and theta are simultaneously taken. I am explaining this graph with respect to theta. So when theta equal to 0, the maximum displacement was r. Now theta increases, what happens is, you can see from here, as the theta increases, p dash is slowly moving from point A towards the center of the circle. So after a particular angle theta, say 20 degree, 30 degree, something like that, p dash is at this position. That means it is less than this radial distance. So the maximum, as the theta increases from 0 to 90 degree, the displacement or the distance from the mean position is gradually decreasing, and as theta becomes 90 degree, you can see here, as theta becomes 90 degree, P dash is exactly coinciding with the mean position O. That means x is equal to 0. So that is what is shown by this graph. When theta equal to 90 degree, this is theta 90 degree graph, pi by 2 graph. So at that point, displacement is 0. Now from 90 to 180 degree, what is happening? The P dash will be moving from O to A dash in this direction. So at theta equal to 180 degree, again it is reaching maximum distance, but towards the left side, that means minus r. So here in the graph, when theta equal to 90 degree, the same distance r will be there towards the other side. That is, when theta equal to theta equal to 180 degree, the maximum distance x value will be equal to r. Again from theta equal to pi to 3 pi by 2, what is happening at 3 pi by 2 value, it becomes 0. Again it goes to the maximum value when it becomes 360 degree. Okay, so think about the velocity. Initially when the value of x was maximum, here it is the equation for the velocity. Velocity is equal to minus r omega sine theta. So it is depending on the value of sine theta. So initially displacement is maximum, the velocity equation is minus r omega sine theta. Theta value, when theta equal to 0, this entire term becomes 0. So this velocity will be 0. So at the starting point, velocity will be 0. Or at theta equal to 0, velocity will be 0. At theta equal to 90 degrees, sine theta equal to 1. So at that case, the maximum velocity value will be minus r omega. So maximum amplitude of the velocity will be minus r omega or simply r omega. So at theta equal to 0, the velocity will be 0. At theta equal to at theta equal to 90 degree, the maximum value will be coming, that is r omega. See here, this maximum value is r omega. Similarly, the distance from here to here is r omega. Again theta equal to 180 degree, it again becomes 0. When it is theta equal to 3 pi by 2, it again becomes r omega. Here it was minus r omega, here it becomes positive r omega. Then at 360 degree, it again becomes 0. Now considering the acceleration, the equation for the acceleration was minus r omega square cos theta. That was the equation for the acceleration. So when theta equal to 0, at the starting point theta equal to 0, cos 0 becomes 1. So maximum amplitude is minus r omega square. So that is what is shown here. Maximum possible value of the acceleration is minus r omega square. That is, at the starting it is in the negative side. That's why the graph starts from the lower side. So when theta equal to 90 degree, cos 90 becomes 0. So acceleration becomes 0. When it becomes 180 degree, it again becomes maximum value, but this time it is in the opposite side, that is positive value r omega square. It repeats. So these are the variation of the this one is the variation of the displacement from the mean position. This is the variation of the velocity, and this is the velocity variation of the acceleration. Please keep it in your mind how the different quantities are varying, and also please try to remember this maximum, at least this maximum amplitude. See, the maximum displacement possible from the mean position is the radius of the circle, and the maximum velocity possible is r omega, and the maximum acceleration possible is nothing but r omega square. Okay. Now next one, I have already told two cases are there. In this case, when t is measured from the mean position, that means the p dash is at the starting point of the p dash is at mean position. That is, or in other way, we are talking about the displacement along the y-axis. So the everything is same. P was initially at a, and it is moving with an angular velocity omega, and during a time interval of t, it has traversed a angular displacement theta, and r is the radius. Now only difference is the corresponding projection of the point P I am taking the y-axis. So this is point P, and the corresponding projection of this point P on the y-axis is this point, that is marked as P dash. It is not visible in the figure. I think the concept is clear. The projection of the point P on the y-axis, this point is marked as P dash, and the distance from the mean position to that point P dash is actually x. This distance is x, and this is r, this is x, this is theta. Theta is the same angle. So this angle will be 90 minus theta. Okay. Now let P dash be the projection of the point P on y-axis. At t is equal to 0, P is at mean position. P dash is at mean position. Actually, it is P dash. At t is equal to 0, P dash is at mean position. Now displacement x is equal to, see the expression for x is equal to, I am taking this is theta degree, so this is 90 minus theta. So in order to get the value of theta, in order to get the value of x in terms of r, I will be taking cos theta. So cos 90 minus theta, this small angle will be 90 minus theta. Since this is theta, this angle is 90 minus theta. So cos 90 minus theta is x by r. So x is equal to r cos 90 minus theta. So cos 90 minus theta is nothing but sin theta. So x is equal to r sin theta or r sin omega t, since theta equal to omega t. See, in the earlier case, the equation for the displacement from the mean position was x is equal to r cos minus r cos omega t. I think one minus was there, right? Sorry, x is equal to r cos omega t. Here only difference is, here instead of r cos omega t, here it is r sin omega t. The other equations you will be getting the same. Velocity and acceleration, you will get the same equation. Only difference is the displacement equation. If the t is measured from the mean position, then the equation for the displacement x is equal to r sin omega t. In the case of when t is measured from the extreme position, the equation for the displacement was x is equal to r cos omega t. Here it is x is equal to r sin omega t. Okay. Now velocity, as I have already told, v is equal to dx by dt. So r omega sin, instead of r into d by dt of sin omega t, that is cos omega t into omega. So r omega cos omega t, that is the equation for velocity. Cos omega t is nothing but theta. So r omega cos theta. Instead of cos theta, I am substituting from here. Cos theta equal to, here this angle is 90 minus theta. So I will explain with this angle itself, theta. Cos theta equal to this distance divided by this one. Okay. So actually this distance means equal to p dash p. This and this will be the same distance. So cos theta equal to actually this distance by r. So instead of this one, I am taking p by distance p dash. So cos theta equal to p dash divided by r. So in this equation, instead of cos theta, I have substituted p dash divided by r. R and r cancel. So the remaining is omega into p dash. Actually p dash, from Pythagoras theorem, p dash square plus x square equal to r square. So p dash is equal to root of x r square minus x square. So the equation becomes omega and root of r square minus x square. Please write it in a paper and simplify yourself. Then you will get the equation for velocity is equal to omega and root of r square minus x square. This is the same equation that we have got in the earlier case also. See, only a negative is coming, minus omega into root of r square minus x square. Anyway, we are finding the velocity. There is no meaning of saying negative velocity. So in both the cases, we will be taking the magnitude only. So the equation to calculate the velocity of the simple harmonic motion is omega into root of r square minus x square. Now moving on to the acceleration. Acceleration is d square x by dt square. So differentiating this term again, it is r omega into d by dt of cos omega t, that is minus sin omega t into omega. So totally it becomes minus r omega square into sin omega t. Sin omega t is theta, so it becomes minus r omega square sin theta. Sin theta, from this graph you will get it as, from this one you will get as this distance divided by r. Actually this vertical distance is equal to this vertical distance, that is x. So sin theta equal to x by r. So substituting for sin theta equal to x by r, finally you will get acceleration is equal to minus omega square into x. Here also you have got the same equation as in the earlier case. So as a summary, I will explain both the cases. When time t is measured from the mean position, its meaning is when p dash will be starting from the mean position or center of the circle. That is the meaning of when time t is measured from the mean position. In that case, the equation for the displacement is x is equal to r sin omega t, that we have just derived in the second portion. V is equal to omega into root of r square minus x square, and a is equal to minus omega square into r. Now second case is when time t is measured from the extreme position. This is the second case. Here x is equal to r cos omega t, and v is equal to omega root of r square minus x square, and a is equal to minus omega square into r. See, the velocity and acceleration equation are same in the both the cases. Only thing you have to remember, here it is, here in the when t is measured from the mean position, the displacement equation is r sin omega t, and in the other case, when the time is measured from the extreme position, in that case the equation for the displacement is x is equal to r cos omega t. So while doing the problem, First identify which case you are doing, whether it is the measured from the mean position or measured from the extreme position. You just identify which case it is, accordingly you use the equation. There is no need to worry about the velocity and acceleration equation. In both the cases the equations are same, only difference is with the displacement equation. In the case if the time is measured from the mean position, or if the p dash is starting from the center of the point O, or the we are talking about the vertical movement or the movement of the point p dash along the vertical axis, then the displacement equation is x is equal to r sin omega t. Otherwise, if we are talking about the horizontal movement of the point p dash, then the displacement equation is x is equal to r cos omega t. Okay. Now next one is the important thing. Some common terms are being used in the field of simple harmonic motion. You must be familiar with these terms also. The first one is amplitude of oscillation. So what do you mean by oscillation? One oscillation. Oscillation means the complete movement. If talking about the first case, here you can see in this, with this figure I can explain. If p dash is moving along the x-axis, what is happening? Initially p dash is at A. Now p dash will be moving along this horizontal line. It will be reaching point O, that is mean position. From there again it is moving till it reaches A dash. Now it comes, p dash moves back in the same line, along the same line, and it is reaching back the point A. So the movement of the point p dash from point A to A dash and back from A dash to A, that is considered as the one oscillation. So entire movement from A to A dash and back from A dash to A is called one oscillation. Similarly, talking about the vertical axis, if the point p dash starts from mean position O, then it is moving towards this point, then it will come back, it will move to the other extreme point. Here this is the second extreme point, and it will move back to the point O. So then this motion from O to this point, back to O, then to the other extreme point, then back to O. This entire motion from here to here, back to here, here, back to here, this will constitute one oscillation. So that is means one, that is what is meant by oscillation, single oscillation. Now amplitude of oscillation, it is the maximum displacement of the point p dash from the mean position. So in both the cases you can see the amplitude of oscillation means maximum displacement from the mean position. Here talking about the horizontal movement, the maximum displacement possibly is up to A. This is radius, the radius of this circle. So r is the maximum amplitude. If you think about this side motion also, then the maximum displacement possibly is up to A dash, that again is r. Talking about the vertical motion, the maximum displacement point possibly is up to this point, that is r. Here also the maximum displacement possibly is r. So whatever may be the case, the maximum amplitude of oscillation is the maximum displacement of the p dash from the mean position, and it is equal to, always equal to the radius of the circle. Okay. Now next one is time period. Time period is actually the time required to complete the one oscillation. That is the simply meaning of the time period. Time required to complete one oscillation. That is the meaning of the time period. This motion of the point p dash is periodic and repeats itself after a time period t is given. So actually the meaning is the time required to complete one oscillation. So during one oscillation, what is happening? During one oscillation, the complete theta covered is 360 degree. Usually theta will be in radian, so in radian it is not 360 degree, it is 2 pi radian. So the maximum angular displacement is 2 pi. So theta equal to 2 pi maximum, and we know that angular displacement theta equal to omega into t. So omega into t for one complete oscillation is the theta value of omega into t for one complete oscillation is 2 pi. So from that equation you will get t is equal to 2 pi by omega. So time period is given by this equation, t is equal to 2 pi by omega. Please remember this equation. The easiest method to remember this equation is theta, angular displacement theta is given by omega into t. For one complete oscillation, that means the point p will be moving along the circumference, so it is completing 2 pi radian during one oscillation. So omega into t equal to 2 pi. From that you will get t is equal to 2 pi by omega. Next one is frequency of oscillation. It is the number of oscillation of the point p dash in 1 second. So number of oscillation within 1 second is known as the frequency of oscillation. Actually frequency of oscillation f is represented, it is represented by the symbol f. F is equal to 1 by time period. So f is equal to 1 by t. So actually t is 2 pi by omega, so 1 by t will be omega by 2 pi. So f is equal to 1 by t, that is equal to omega by 2 pi. So from this equation you will get omega equal to 2 pi f. So that is an important equation. Sometimes frequency will be given in the problem. In that case you can find out the value of omega by multiplying frequency with 2 pi. 2 pi into omega will be equal to 2 pi into frequency, 2 pi into f will be equal to omega. So these are the important terms used in the field of simple harmonic motion. In the next presentation we will be doing problems or numericals from these topics. Okay.